Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be doing the best of Chantecaille makeup, a full face of Chantecaille. So I am showing you my favorite products from Chantecaille, and as well I am putting them on my face so you can see them in action. I'm going very in depth because there actually is going to be a 30% Chantecaille sale. I'm just going to read you a little bit about it. So it's the annual Sylvie sale. It's coming up, which is in honor of the founder, the CEO of Chantecaille, Sylvie Chantecaille. So there is a 30% off sale. There are some exclusions. So any of the charity products with like the wildlife imprints on it will not be 30% off, just because they don't want to limit the money that they're giving back to charity. So that is why they are not including those. Obviously, I think that is totally understandable. But they are offering, if you create an account with Chantecaille, you will get double the points. So some of the benefits with creating an account, it's kind of like a loyalty program. You're going to unlock some nice benefits like getting free shipping, birthday bonuses, exclusive sale access. You're going to kind of be like a VIP member, so to speak. So anyways, back to the sale details. 30% off. The dates are Wednesday, July 28th, which is when it is starting, and it's going to end Saturday, July 31st. And you just use the code. I'll put it, obviously, everything in the description box. The code is Sylvie30. So I wanted to create this video using my favorite Chantecaille products just so you can kind of know what I recommend. Sometimes it changes throughout the seasons, or I've tried some new products that I absolutely love. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and you found it helpful. I don't want to blab on too much in the intro because this is a very in-depth video. But let me know down below if you plan on picking anything up or if you recommend anything that I should try out for the sale. But let's just get into this look. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video, and let's get into it. Okay, let's get started on the eyes. So I have a few favorite eye products from Chantecaille. I don't have a matte shadow from them, so what I am going to do is take the bronzer. This is the Sirena bronzer. It's a beautiful warm tone. It has a bit of a sheen to it, and it's a big Gelee texture, so it's a little harder to pick up. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. This is a Sonia G Blender Pro. Again, taking Sirena, and I'm just going to get a bit of product on that brush. Going a little heavier handed, again, because this is a product that is a bit harder to pick up. A denser brush would probably be preferable for this, but I'm just going to use this as a transition shade. So I'm going to start on the outer corner of my eye and then work that into the crease. Doesn't need to be too precise because this is just kind of going to ground the look. So I'm going to kind of do this look in a few different steps just because I have a few different eyeshadows to recommend. The next shadow, and this one will be on sale for the Chantecaille Sylvie event. This is the Mermaid eye color. My favorite shade is Copper. So it's this beautiful single shadow, and it's an interesting texture. It doesn't feel super creamy. It kind of feels like in between a cream to powder. It is a little more on the powdery side, but I love this as a single shadow because it just gives you a beautiful sheen. When you feel it, it's not chunky at all, so you're not going to get any glitter chunks or anything like that. It's just going to give you a beautiful glow on your eyes versus something that's very glittery and intense and that looks too dramatic for daytime. This is a perfect daytime, everyday sort of eye look because, again, while it is pigmented, there are no glitter particles or anything like that. It just gives you that lovely sheen, that soft, sophisticated glow that I love. So I'm going to take this on a Sonia G Builder 2 brush, and I'm not going to wet it or anything. You can wet this shadow if you want it a bit more intense. And I am just going to press that on the eyelid from inner corner to outer corner, and it's just so beautiful. I don't know if you can see the gorgeous sheen that it gives on my eyes. Like I said, it's pigmented, but it gives you a beautiful glow, kind of that supermodel glow sort of thing, or that red carpet glow that just looks really elegant on the eyes. It's never over the top. You can wear this daytime, nighttime, any occasion, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And this shade is the perfect tone. Now, while it is called Copper, it doesn't lean overly orange, which a lot of copper tones do. I just feel like this is the perfect neutral. It's almost a bit more bronzy than it is coppery, but it's perfect. I also love the color tone of it. Like, it's not too light, it's not too dark, it's perfect. That Goldilocks situation. So That's a beautiful sheen, and you could obviously stop here, but I have to mention another eyeshadow that I love. This has to go in my best of Chantecaille just because I love it. And now, while this is not on sale, you will get double the points if you create an account with Chantecaille. So don't judge me for this. This is the Chantecaille Luminescent Eye Shade in the shade Lion or Golden Copper. I don't know if you can see that, but I have almost run completely through this. I have just like one little chunk left, which is ridiculous for me to keep this. I should probably just get rid of it because it has like fallen apart now. But I do have a backup because I love it so much. So this is something that I have repurchased. Even though these are quite expensive, to me they're really worth it. So in comparison to the Mermaid eye color, you can see just off that swipe, it is way more pigmented. And this is a beautiful golden bronze. Now this one does have a bit more shimmer particles to it. I wouldn't say it's a chunky glitter at all, but this does create more fallout on the face just because there are a bit more glitter particles to it. But it's not that tacky glitter in any way. If I'm comparing it to something like the Pat McGrath glitter shades, this is way more subdued. This is more of like an elegant shimmer that I just think looks absolutely stunning. The shade is a perfect golden bronze for me. And I'm sorry, I just can't get enough of that. That's something that I just had to repurchase, even though they are quite pricey, especially in Canada. I just honestly can't get enough of that shade. So again, I'm just going to go in with the Sonia G Builder Pro. And just for a more intense eye look, I'm going to again press this on the eye, just to add a bit more intensity and create that bit more, it gives you more of like a foiled effect on the eyes. But again, it's not too intense where I would feel uncomfortable wearing this in the daytime. But this is gorgeous. Like my favorite way to wear it is definitely in the evening time for a special occasion because I just think these tones are so very flattering on so many people because it is more of that neutral tone. But these come in a lot of different shades. I also own the Cheetah and Giraffe one. Yeah, so kind of more of those neutral tones, but it comes in like a nice purple, a rose gold, all different shades. So I'd highly recommend you check those out. I'm going to forgo eyeliner today just because I want the eyes to kind of like sing as they are and I don't want to overtake this look. I kind of want to keep it very simple just because these tones and these shimmers are so beautiful that I want this to shine versus having the eyeliner kind of take over the look. And also the eyeliners from Chantecaille, while they're beautiful and they smudge very beautifully, they're not my absolute favorite product from the brand. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the lower lash line. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix the copper and the lion shade, just go back and forth evenly, and just run that along the lower lash line. So I'm just running that from inner to outer corner. This will kind of brighten up the eyes, and it'll just add that tone to the bottom. It'll kind of make my eyes pop a little bit. But again, the shimmer isn't too intense or glittery where it's going to look weird on the lower lash line. I'm going to go ahead and prime my lashes with the Dior 3D Lash Maximizer. And then I am going to use the Chantecaille. This is the Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. This is a very pricey mascara, so if you are going to buy it, I would definitely recommend picking it up at this 30% discount. This is a really beautiful mascara, something I would wear for every day. It gives you length and volume, but it's not over the top or too dramatic. It is a really nice mascara, and it has peptides in it that help your lashes grow a little longer, but you need to be using this consistently to notice a difference. And I kind of transition my mascaras, and I just have long lashes anyway, so I don't really notice a difference. But if you're someone who struggles with like lashes breaking or anything like that, this might be something that is very beneficial to you. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Mascara is on, and I don't know if you can tell by my lashes. I obviously have longer lashes. I never wear false lashes. That's just not something I enjoy to do. But it's a very buildable mascara. So this is 3 coats of mascara with that lash primer underneath. And I don't think it looks too intense. It doesn't look too clumpy. This mascara is something I don't find really, obviously it will clump up if you had like 12 coats of mascara, but it is a very buildable mascara, and I like the length and volume and don't think it's too overwhelming. So moving on to face, now something I don't believe I've shown on my channel. I have mentioned this specific bronzer though in my top 5 favorite bronzers is the Chantecaille Radiance Gel Bronzer. This is just really beautiful for a more natural looking bronzer, but it is highly pigmented, so you just need the smallest amount, which can make it not super user friendly, especially if you're just starting out with makeup. But one of my favorite things to do with this specific product, and I actually just ran out of my SPF, so I need to grab a new one. Since SPF can have the tendency to create a white cast on you, and maybe even throughout the day it can do that, I love to mix this into my SPF just to make sure I don't get that white cast on my face, or I mix it into a primer. So today I am going to mix it in with a primer. So I'm going to take a bit of this Radiance Gel Bronzer. It's this gel consistency. It's almost like a lotion consistency. And I'm going to add a pump of the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Moisturizing Primer and just use that all over my skin. So this obviously will deepen the color of my skin because of the Radiance Gel Bronzer. Almost similar to like adding the Drunk Elephant drops into your products, but this color isn't as red as the Drunk Elephant, so I kind of prefer it on my skin tone. And because it adds a bit of color to my skin, I feel like I don't go in with as much foundation over top because this gives me a bit of a base and it just looks a bit more perfecting than simply a clear base primer that's not adding a tint to your skin. Just something I've noticed. I don't have a Chantecaille concealer to recommend, so I'm just going to go in with my Old Faithful, the Dior Forever Skin Correct, applied under my under eyes, and then I'll be back to work on the face. Concealer is on, let's move on to foundations. So I really, really enjoy Chantecaille's foundations. They are absolutely stunning on the skin. One of the best. Both of these foundations just look like your skin, but better. So the first one I want to talk about is an Old Faithful. This is the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. So I love this because it is so soothing on the skin. It almost has a cooling effect on the skin. It is a beautiful oil-free foundation. So while it is oil-free, it is a gel foundation, so it really hydrates the skin. But because it is oil-free, it's not going to look too greasy on your skin. I feel like this would be a great kind of more hydrating foundation if you are oily because, again, it is oil-free. This just makes your skin look very plumped, very youthful, again, hydrated. It just smooths on the skin. It really perfects, but it perfects in a way where it's not adding a ton of coverage. You're not getting a ton of pigmentation out of this. This is, like I said, a light coverage foundation, but you could build this to medium. I wouldn't build it past that. It's just not meant to be a fuller coverage foundation. Truly lovely and gorgeous on the skin. And this shade that I have in the shade Cream is like my perfect match. And then the other foundation, so this one will be on sale. This one you'll just get double the points because, again, you're not going to get a discount on any of the charity products. But this is the Future Skin Cushion Foundation. I wear mine in the shade Nude. This is a little bit too cool toned and a little too light for me, but I can make it work. So these are very similar. This one has more coverage. I would say it's like a medium coverage. You could obviously wear it as a more light coverage. This is even more perfecting on the skin than this one. Like, this one is just so skin perfecting. It's amazing how it blurs the appearance of texture and pores. Truly gorgeous on the skin. And I will also say this one is more mattifying. So this is a great choice for the summer months especially, because I notice it doesn't move or crease throughout the day. It doesn't transfer. It's a very long wearing foundation. And while this doesn't get, like, this lasts them all day long. It doesn't look bad towards the end of the day. I just think this one is a little more longer wearing because it is a bit more mattifying. But don't get me wrong, it's not a matte foundation. There is a slight luminosity to it. But as someone who is dehydrated and has dry skin, I just noticed that this one is a bit more matte. So for me, this works a lot better in the summertime. I just have to make sure that I wear a moisturizer under this if I wear it throughout the winter. But the effect that it has on the skin is truly beautiful. I feel like I haven't used the Future Skin in a really long time on my channel, and I feel like I just used this one. But truly, you can't go wrong with either one of these. If you're oily, I'd pick this one. If you're dry, I say you could go either or, but this one's just a little better if you have really dry skin. Love these foundations. So again, I'm going to go in with the Future Skin Gel Foundation. I feel like I just talked so much about that foundation. And now this is in a jar, so it's not like my favorite, but I just put a little bit on the palm of my hand. Again, because it's not in a pump, you don't exactly know how much to use, but I just say start out with a pea-size amount, and then if you want to build it from there, you can. And then I'm just going to press it onto the skin. And so right away, you can really notice its blurring properties and the slight bit of coverage it adds, but it's not overwhelming, very buildable. It just looks like your skin has, like, I don't know, like a perfecting veil over top of it. And I know it might seem weird to say a foundation is perfecting without a lot of coverage, but it kind of reminds me of like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, where that adds just a slight bit of coverage, but because there's this slight radiance to it, or I don't even know what it is, it's just this like amazing technology in it, it just blurs over the skin in such a beautiful way. Okay, and that is the foundation on. I love it because it's not quite a no makeup, but it's not like a super glam makeup. I just think it looks like your skin, but perfected, very beautiful, not overwhelming in any way. And this is something that, again, is very long wearing for me, nice and buildable, and I just think looks gorgeous on the skin. Now let's talk blush for a second and kind of cream products. I really enjoy these Cheek Gelee's Hydrating Gel Cream Blush. My favorite shade is the shade Lively, which is like a perfect coral tone. So these are really nice if you are someone who is a beginner to makeup. Usually I do not recommend cream products to beginners just because they are a little more finicky. They can be harder to blend. A lot of cream blushes on the market are quite pigmented and not very sheer. So I just find that you need to be good at blending if you want a cream blush to look good on the skin. So I just tend to reach for powders just because I'm kind of lazy with my makeup and I like to be quick. Powder is just a little more quicker. I don't need to be, like I said, finicky. I need, like, I don't know, with creams, you just need to make sure you haven't powdered and blah, blah, blah. So that is the beautiful shade. And what I love about this is that it is a very sheer cream blush. So it just gives you a beautiful wash of color. And this would be great if you just want to wear blush, but you are not wearing any foundation or anything like that because it is so sheer on the skin. And it does look very skin-like. It's not overly pigmented. It's not too creamy. It really dries down nice, but you have enough time to blend it onto the skin. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this. Again, I apply it to the palm of my hand so it doesn't sink into the pores on the back of my hand. And I'm going to go in with a powder brush blush over top. So I'm just going to press this onto the apples of the cheeks just to give myself a bit of color. And this is a really beautiful cream blush because, again, it really sinks into the skin. It's not going to sit on top and look heavy. So now that the foundation is on, I'm just going to quickly finish off the under eyes. And I'm going to take this liquid. No, this is not a liquid. This is the Éclat Brilliant Face Powder, which is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. It's a beautiful champagne gold. I'm going to use this in the inner corner of the eye. So I'm just going to take my MAC 228 brush with a little bit of that product and just brighten up the inner corner and inner crease. Again, I don't bring it onto the tear duct because I think it makes my eyes look weird for some reason. It almost like droops them down. So I just like to brighten up just the inner corner of my eye. And then sometimes if I'm feeling a little fancy, I'll grab a little bit and just run that through the center of the eye and bring it up to the middle of the crease as well, just to really brighten the eyes. And then to finish off the lower lash line, just because I don't like a complete shimmer on the lower lash line, I like to add a little bit of something to just ground the lower lash line. I don't know why. But I'm just going to take that Sirena bronzer again on a little pencil brush. And then I'm going to start at the outer corner here, connect to that upper outer lid, and then just run it. I'm going to bring this all the way into the inner corner today, just because it's more of a soft bronzer. It's nothing too intense. Now, you've heard me talk about this bronzer endlessly. I just feel like I can't shut up about it. But this is the Chantecaille Real Bronze in the shade Sirena. So Sirena is my favorite shade. It is the lighter of the two. Goa is the other shade, and it is a bit deeper and a little more red tone. But this, it's a baked Gelee formula. I don't know if you can tell. There is a swatch of that product. If you can see it, it is a very buildable bronzer. It has a slight sheen to it, so this is more of a golden bronze tone. There's no shimmer particles in this, so it is not going to leave your face shimmery. I absolutely do not like that in a bronzer, so I just think the sheen that this has in it is so subtle, and it's a very much a skin-like sheen. So you know how your skin is not completely matte, which is why I tend to prefer these baked Gelee formulas, is because they are so buildable. They're not ultra pigmented right off the bat. You do have to build them up. And because they're that baked Gelee formula, they apply onto your skin, like they go on like a powder, but it melts into the skin like a cream product would. So it just looks so seamless and so skin-like. That gel texture just melts into the skin beautifully, gives that very creamy effect on the skin. I think this would be a great choice. Chantecaille just does great products that are that natural glam, kind of like your skin, but better. Anyways, let's just go in with the product. This is a Refer 22 brush. So again, because it's that baked Gelee formula, I've said that 1,000 times, it is a bit harder to pick up. So you want to go in with a brush that's a bit more dense. So I just start out on the forehead, and then I just bronze the cheekbones. And then I do like to bring the excess product just kind of around my nose. I just love how this looks. It's the perfect golden bronze color. It's not too warm though. It's not orangey at all. Moving on to one of my favorite products that I feel like is really underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. Now, to be fair, this was a limited edition release for the holidays, I think in 2019, but it is still available. I checked on the site, so I don't know if they just decided not to make it limited edition, which is a great call if they did, because this is truly beautiful. This is made in Italy. This is the Éclat Brilliant Face Powder, another big Gelee formula that is so beautiful on the skin. And I love this highlight because it is so buildable. Again, going back to the bronzer, it's a very buildable formula. So you can start off with a bit of product and really sheer it out if you are going for a more daytime look. But if you are going for that more intense highlight, you can really build this up and get that really blinged highlighter that is super intense and like, I don't want to say quite glowing from space. There's no sparkles or anything like that, but it's a really pigmented highlighter that you can really build up. Like if you can see that swatch there, that's a pretty pigmented, intense highlighter, but you can really sheer it out as well. So you can get that more natural effect. So I'm going to go in with a Sonia G Mini Cheek. And because this is the daytime, I want this to be a bit more subtle. I'm really going to tap off my brush and kind of get that excess product off on my hand and then blend it into the skin. And because this is a baked formula, as you blend it into the skin and just keep going, keep working it in, it looks very skin-like the more you blend it in. So again, if you want that more intense look, you probably wouldn't have to work this long with the product. You would just apply it and get that more intense look. But I want this to melt into the skin. Now, I wanted to mention the powder blushes because these are one of my favorite powder blushes on the market. They're just very beautiful. And now these aren't the big Gelee formula. This is actually a powder blush, but it doesn't sit on top of the skin. It is very pigmented, but the texture of this is very silky smooth. It almost feels like a fabric. And I just think it looks so lovely. They're buildable in formula, but it just looks so pretty on the skin. I have the shade Emotion, but that one shattered. So I do want to mention particular about these is because they're so creamy, they have the tendency to break. So I would be very cautious how you store these. I would never take this traveling because the texture is just so creamy and delicate that you don't want to travel with this. And it comes in this, I think this is a beautiful, luxurious kind of pebble packaging, but it's not too obnoxious. It's quite a bit smaller than the bronzer, as you can see. So you might feel like you're not getting as much product, but this is just such a luxury blush that looks beautiful, never overdone. Lovely, lovely formula. So again, this is the shade Laughter Coral, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to the skin. I actually prefer the shade Coral over the Emotion shade. And so I'm just going to start out with product. I don't know if you can see my brush picks up quite a bit because again, it's that powder formula. I just tap off the excess and then I just go and apply to the cheeks. And I love this shade because it's the perfect peachy coral, but it doesn't lean too much one way. So it is that like perfect in between peach coral shade, peach pink shade, sorry. So it is that lovely coral. And I just think it really brightens up my skin, brings me back that youthful glow. Not too overdone, never looks powdery on the skin for a powder formula. Yeah, it's a really nice one. I'd recommend that for sure. I don't have a lip liner from Chantecaille, so I'm just going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Line and fill in. And then my favorite gloss from Chantecaille, this is the, wow, tiny print, Brilliant Gloss in the shade Blithe. It's just a beautiful light peachy pink with a bit of shimmer. And I love this formula because it is such a thin texture and just gives your lips that beautiful gloss that's not too thick or too tacky. It's a very, like I said, sheer layer, but it's ultra hydrating without being like loopy or anything like that. And it feels very comfortable. So I just like it. It's not going to give you a ton of color payoff or anything like that, but I just really enjoy the formula of this specifically. And then I always kind of rub that into my lips. And to finish off this Chantecaille look, I have to mention the Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. This is just the most perfect powder on the market. Again, it's that big formula, so you need a more dense brush to pick up product, but the way it looks on the skin is just literally perfect. Perfect Blur, the best name for it. So it really reduces the appearance of texture on your skin if you have any pores or, like I said, texture. It does a great job. It also mattifies slightly, but it mattifies in a way where it doesn't look like you have a lot of product on your skin or that you look like you even have a powder on the skin. It's just such a creamy formula and makes your skin look very creamy, I guess I would say. So this is just like a #1. So many people talk about it for a reason because it is truly beautiful on the skin. My favorite powder on the market currently. All right, so that is it for my full face of Chantecaille, the best of Chantecaille makeup products. I quickly want to run down, if I had to mention a top 5 list of products that I really would wholeheartedly recommend if you just want to get a few things, kind of like a Chantecaille starter kit, I would say. My top products would be the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. This is a #1 for me. I would also recommend one of these foundations. Truly, I feel like I love having both in my collection, so one doesn't overtake the other one. But I were to say, if you are more oily, I'd probably go with this one. If you're more dry, this one. If you're looking for a great all-rounder for all year, this one is probably maybe just a smidgen beats it, but truly these look very luxury on the skin. They make your skin look just perfected, but not in a fake way. They're very beautiful. I think they're long wearing for being a more light coverage foundation. Truly beautiful. And then I would also recommend one of the Luminescent eye shades, just depending on whichever one speaks to you. Again, these ones will not be on sale, but you will get double the points if you create an account. So I just recommend these on sale or not. Very beautiful. The bronzer is a must for me as well. This is in my top 5. Maybe I'd say this is in my top 2 actually for bronzers. It's just truly beautiful. I love having this in my collection. I would absolutely recommend this to everyone. So that is 4 products. Can I just combine these as one? Probably not, but that's 4. And then if I had to pick another one, I think I would go with the highlighter just because this is a great product. You can use this on your eyes. You can use this on your face. This is something that is very buildable, so you can wear it more subtle. You can really build it up. It's just a really great formula. I really love it. And I guess I really want to mention the blush too because this is one of my favorites, but I guess I should have made it longer than a top 5 list, but those are just some of my favorite Chantecaille products that I would recommend to absolutely everyone. I just love this brand. I love the people behind it. I love that they're all about charity work as well, and they really are passionate about creating the best products. They really research their products before coming out with them, which is why you don't see like a ton of Chantecaille releases. And yeah, I just love this brand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you are planning on picking up anything in this sale, or if you have any Chantecaille favorites that you want to recommend to me that I should pick up during the sale, because I will definitely be purchasing a few things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.